This page is the cover of a Nintendo Power magazine, featuring a wrestling theme with Hulk Hogan and Sting. The cover promotes WCW vs. NW for the Nintendo 64. It also mentions strategies for Fighter's Destiny and Yoshi's Story, along with a James Bond 007 Game Boy briefing. Plus, there's a teaser for more N64 content, including Mystical Ninja starring Goemon and FIFA Road to the World Cup '98. The next page showcases a Nintendo Power subscription advertisement, using a first-person perspective reminiscent of a first-person shooter game. The ad features the tagline, "How does it feel to be the center of attention?" It includes imagery of weapons and a figure surrounded by explosions, suggesting intense action. The advertisement promotes Nintendo Power magazine as a source of information to avoid being caught in the sights of automatic weapons, promising secrets to infiltrate enemy installations and destroy threats to the globe, offering a player's guide and other bonuses for subscribers. The ad features an image of the GoldenEye 007 Nintendo Power cover, which ties in with the James Bond 007 Game Boy briefing mentioned on the previous page. This page is a volume cover for Nintendo Power, Volume 105, February 1998. It features WCW vs. N2 World Tour, inviting players to master signature moves. There are screenshots from WCW wrestling games for the N64 console. The contents page also lists strategy guides for Nagano Winter Olympics '98, Olympic Hockey Nagano '98, Yoshi's Story, The Legend of the Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, Diddy Kong Racing Codes, Fighter's Destiny, Aero Gauge, FIFA, Road to the World Cup '98, and James Bond 007, as well as a Maui Mallard and Cold Shadow guide. A preview of Cruisin' World is featured, and every issue section includes Player's Pulse, Power Charts, Classified Information, Counselor's Corner, Players Poll Contest, Arena, Now Playing, Pack Watch, Next Issue, and a game list. The page also features images related to Nagano Winter Olympics '98, The Legend of the Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, and Diddy Kong Racing with a reveal of hidden codes. The next page is titled Players Pulse and features reader feedback on the game Tetris and GoldenEye 007. Readers share their opinions about Tetris, either loving it or hating it, with one even calling it an anti-boredom tool. Some express that Tetris deserves a high spot on the top 100 list. A few readers include drawings with their letters, including characters from Tetris and James Bond 007. Readers critique GoldenEye 007, with some criticizing the controls, while others defend it for having a plot. One reader jokingly describes GoldenEye as fun at parties. Other games mentioned are Boost-A-Move, Shaq Fu, and Super Mario World. There are also comments on the scoring of Mischief Makers. The page also lists editorial staff. This page presents the Power Charts from Nintendo Power magazine. The charts detail top games across Nintendo 64, Super NES, and Game Boy platforms. On the Nintendo 64 chart, GoldenEye 007 takes the top spot, followed by WCW vs. NBU World Tour. Other games in the top 10 include Diddy Kong Racing, Star Fox 64, Mario Kart 64, and Turok, Dinosaur Hunter. For Super NES, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past is ranked number 1, with Super Mario RPG in second place. Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, Final Fantasy II-I, and Chrono Trigger are also listed. The Game Boy list is topped by The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, Donkey Kong Land 3, and Donkey Kong Land 2 are also featured. Additionally, a Most Wanted Games list highlights Zelda 64, WCW vs. NU World Tour, Nintendo 64 Disk Drive, Diddy Kong Racing, GoldenEye 007, WCW Nitro, WWF, Warzone, Super Mario 64 2, Super Mario RPG 2, and Yoshi's Story. The page also includes a letters section, where readers share their thoughts on Mischief Makers, Turok 2, Nintendo Power Source, and a Right Away, asking readers about the 2D games. The page provides phone directory, power line, and Nintendo Power Source contact information. This page details the wrestlers' secret combination moves and abilities in WCW vs. NU World Tour for the Nintendo 64. It features wrestlers like Black Ninja and Ric Flair, and provides gameplay tips. The page lists NWO attributes for several wrestlers, including Hollywood Hogan, Eric Bischoff, Scott Hall, SYXX, Buff Bagwell, Kevin Nash, Bogus Sting, and Scott Norton, detailing their attack and defense rates for head, chest, arm, leg, and jump. Also included are strong grapple moves from the front, from the ropes, face up on the mat, and in the turnbuckles. The next page shows the secret combination moves and abilities for Master Fuji, Giant, Scott Hall, and Hollywood Hogan in WCW vs. NU World Tour for the Nintendo 64. Each wrestler has strong grapples, rear moves, rope moves, face-up and face-down mat moves, and turnbuckle moves with button combinations. There's also a short description of each wrestler and their wrestling style. This page details secret combination moves and abilities for Lex Luger, Kevin Nash, Poochteka, and Sting in WCW vs. NU World Tour for the Nintendo 64. Each wrestler features strong grapples from the front and rear, moves from the ropes, face-up and face-down mat moves, and turnbuckle moves with associated button combinations. The page also includes a brief description of each wrestler and their wrestling style. The next page covers combination moves for WCW vs. NW on the Nintendo 64. It details moves for Macho Man Randy Savage, Diamond Dallas Page DDP, Wrath, Joe Bruiser, Glacier, and Black Widow. The page includes strong grapples, moves from the ropes, mat moves, and turnbuckle moves with associated button combinations. A hidden hazards section also teases the hidden wrestlers and how to reach them. This page features Nagano Winter Olympics 98 for the Nintendo 64, showcasing Olympic mode and Championship mode. Olympic mode supports up to 4 players in 12 events, where players can compete to create their own victory conditions and save scores. The country select menu allows players to choose from 16 nations. Championship mode is a 7-event contest, including snowboard giant slalom, speed skating, snowboard halfpipe, ski jump, aerials, bobsled, and downhill skiing. The page emphasizes the difficulty of championship mode and the need for proficiency in every event. This page gives tips for Nagano Winter Olympics 98 on Nintendo 64, covering snowboard, giant slalom, halfpipe, and speed skating. For the slalom, it advises to avoid using edges to keep speed, while halfpipe is likened to a high-pressure game of Simon Says, requiring players to mimic controller sequences. Speed skating is described for 500 and 1,500 meters events. Timing strides and balancing speed and stamina are key. This page provides tips and strategies for Nagano Winter Olympics 98 on the Nintendo 64. It includes guides for ski jumping, specifically the 90-meter and 120-meter jumps, detailing how to time jumps and adjust balance. There's also advice for alpine skiing's giant slalom, emphasizing speed and memorization of the course, and downhill, focusing on avoiding big turns and anticipating twists. The next page features more tips and strategies for Nagano Winter Olympics 98 on the Nintendo 64. It covers freestyle skiing, particularly aerials, with advice on performing tricks and landing. A guide for luge details how to control speed and navigate turns, while for bobsled, it focuses on getting a fast start and loading the team correctly. The page also includes a section on curling, explaining the game's strategy and how to score. It includes a visit to the Nagano Games website. This page is about the Olympic Hockey Nagano 98 game on the Nintendo 64. It highlights features like the inclusion of over 125 NHLPA players and the 14 international teams from the XV2I Winter Olympic Games. The game aims for realistic hockey action. The page details the game modes: arcade, qualify, finals, and playoffs, emulating an Olympic-style tournament. Players can customize division seedings to mirror the Winter Games. There is also a defections menu, which is a trading system. It lists a selection of the world's best players on each team according to their in-game stats, and touches on gameplay similarities to Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey 98. This page is a walkthrough for Yoshi's story on the Nintendo 64, focusing on strategies for finding hidden hearts in the first 2 worlds. It explains that to unlock all 4 levels of a world, players must find 3 special hearts hidden within the previous levels. The page also details the importance of fruits, stating that Yoshi needs to collect 30 fruits to finish a level, and the value of lucky fruits for bonus points. Heart fruits, which appear after eating 6 of the same fruit in a row, temporarily protect Yoshi from damage and transform enemies. Additionally, the page introduces enemies and highlights that defeating Shy Guys matching Yoshi's color earns extra points. It also mentions Poochie and his ability to sniff out hidden fruit. The next page continues the walkthrough of Yoshi's story, providing strategies for finding hidden hearts and navigating obstacles in the first two worlds. It details specific areas and enemy encounters, such as the crossing guard elephant and the fuzzy wiggler, offering advice on how to overcome them. There is the mention of using exclamation point balls to reach higher areas, employing Poochie to locate hidden melons and hearts, and shooting mystery boxes to reveal enemies. The page includes tips for bonus rounds, and using Yoshi's sniffing ability to uncover secrets. The player needs 30 fruits to finish a level, with heart fruits offering temporary protection and transformation of enemies. This page provides a walkthrough for Yoshi's story, specifically level 13 and level 14. It guides players on how to find special hearts, navigate mobile clouds, activate switches, and use flying saucers. There are strategies for the bonus rounds, involving catching falling blocks and long jumps. Also, there are tips for using the updrafts to find hidden hearts. This page offers a walkthrough for finding special hearts in Yoshi's story levels 21 to 24. It details how to locate the hearts by using characters like Poochie, riding platforms, stomping on fossils, and navigating through various obstacles like lava, spiked ceilings, and smoke-filled rooms. It also teases future stages of the game. The next page offers cheat codes and tips for several games. For NFL Quarterback Club 98, it provides codes for Goliath mode, speed up, max speed, strong receivers, blockheads, jump farther, sticky hands, and turbo mode. For Madden Football 64, it details how to unlock hidden teams. San Francisco Rush Extreme Racing has tips for changing viewing distance, fog color, weight, track textures, and unlocking a special car. Also featured is a section for Aerofighter's Assault, explaining how to change the colors of your aircraft. This page is a collection of tips and cheat codes for several games. Clay Fighter 63 1/3 has a section called More Claytalities that lists special moves like Pincer, Exploding Drum, Death X-Ray, Fireworks, and Scary. Mace, The Dark Age, offers mech moves such as Telescope Arm, Anti-Turtle, Combo 1, Combo 2, and Warhammer. Robotron 64 includes cyber cheats for Shield, Flamethrower, Speed Up, Radiation Spray, Game Boy Mode, and Autoplay. Extreme Egg features named cheats like Anti-Grav, Fergus, Ghostly, Rare 50, Stealth, Wired, and Extreme. Lastly, there's a section on Secret of Mana discussing an orb alert trick. The next page dives into Konami's Mystical Ninja starring Goemon for the Nintendo 64. It's described as an offbeat comedy adventure where a mysterious alien ship transforms feudal Japan into a gaudy musical stage. The article teases the story's mastermind and highlights the game's blend of fantasy, history, and science fiction. The page introduces the Mystical Champions. Yae, a secret ninja agent with swords and guns who can transform into a mermaid. Sasuke, a robot ninja with fire and freezing attacks. Goemon, who uses a pipe. And Ebi Sumaru, a self-proclaimed ninja of justice. A page mentions Goemon Impact, a gigantic robot used in special battle stages. The article emphasizes the importance of teamwork and switching between characters. There are also screenshots showing gameplay and character abilities. This page is all about Mystical Ninja starring Goemon on the Nintendo 64. It highlights the vastness of the game world in Japan, with a map showing different locations like Edo Town, Kai's Coffee Shop, Mount Fuji, and more. There is a walkthrough for Odo Town and Mount Fuji, with tips on how to get the chain pipe to cross the moat. The page also offers a map key, with items like money, dumplings, and keys. It emphasizes stocking up on supplies before storming Edo Castle. The next page provides a walkthrough for Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, specifically focusing on the first battle within Edo Castle and the subsequent journey. It includes maps of the castle's first, second, and third floors, with item locations. Tips for defeating Kongo, the king of Oedo, are given, along with the benefits of obtaining the Super Pass and traveling to Shinano IGA. The page also introduces Kashiwashi, the wartime kabuki robot, as the first robot opponent, offering strategies for his defeat. This page details the journey through Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, covering areas such as Zazen Town, Yamato, Kiyowaji Island, and Fokipoke Village. It explains how Yae joins the party in Zazen Town and provides maps and tips for navigating these areas. It also covers key items like the shrinking magic in the Golden Temple and the Turtle Stone in Yamato, crucial for accessing the Yamato Shrine. The page also gives advice for battling the mind-controlled dragon on the dragon's spine and introduces the husband and wife rocks, providing insight on the locations, their purposes, and challenges within the game. This page continues the guide for Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. It covers Fokipoke Village, Kampira Mountain, Dogo Hot Springs, and the Ghost Toys Castle. The guide includes maps and tips for navigating these areas, such as walking slowly across the Vine Bridge and finding the secret entrance to Dogo Hot Springs. It also details the Ghost Toys Castle, offering advice on using the Medal of Flames and wind-up camera. There is also the guide on how to defeat the Darmanio robot. The story progresses as, with Darmanio destroyed, Spring Breeze Dancing emerges as the main antagonist. The next page showcases cheat codes for Diddy Kong Racing, listing 21 codes that alter the game. These codes unlock effects like big characters, modified horn sounds, altered balloon types, and other gameplay tweaks, offering a way for players to tinker with the game and customize their experience. It also mentions WizPig and obtaining codes through gameplay. This page reveals a variety of cheat codes for Diddy Kong Racing. Free For All gives instant power-ups, while Free Fruit grants a speed boost. Joint Venture enables co-op in adventure mode, and Jukebox unlocks 65 in-game tunes. No Yellow Stuff removes bananas, and Off-Road improves driving on varied terrain. Opposites Attract turns balloons into rainbow magnets. Other codes include Rocket Fuel for Blue Boost balloons, Teeny Weenies for shrinking characters, and Time to Los to enhance CPU driver AI. Toxic Offender turns balloons green. Vitamin B enhances top speed with more bananas, and Who Did This unlocks the credits. Finally, Zap the Zippers removes zippers from tracks. The page also features screenshots of gameplay and character art. The next page is a guide to Fighter's Destiny, providing insights from Jamie Fike, a lead tester who humorously refers to himself as the Fighter's Destiny God. The article dives into the game's mechanics, emphasizing the importance of strategy and the point system. It includes a detailed move list for Ryuji, complete with button combos and descriptions of each move, such as triple high kick, mock upper, and Shinraban Shosen. There is also an advert from Nintendo Power to earn a master's degree in Fightology. This page features character guides for Fighter's Destiny, with tips from Jamie. The page covers Abdul, Leon, Pierre, and Tomahawk. It lists each character's moves, button combos, and the type of move. Jamie provides insight into the characters' playstyles, like Abdul's low kicks and Tomahawk's upper body attacks. The next page continues the character guides for Fighter's Destiny, this time focusing on Mealing, Bob, Valerie, and Ninjas. It details each character's unique moves, the corresponding button combos, and the type of move, such as knockdowns, counters, or special attacks. The reviewer Jamie highlights specific traits, such as Mealing's speed, Bob's strength, Valerie's aerial combos, and Ninja's tricky playstyle. This page is also about Fighter's Destiny character guides, focusing on Boro, Joker, Ushi, and Robert. It details each character's unique moves, button combos, and move types, such as floats, counters, and special attacks. The reviewer Jamie provides insights into each character's strategy. Boro is noted for her somersaults and juggling ability. The Joker has over 100 moves. Ushi is best used offensively, and Robert is very slow but with good grabs. Finally, there's information on the secret character master who has all moves. The next page covers Cruisin' World for the Nintendo 64, highlighting its enhanced features compared to Cruisin' USA. The article mentions the game's two modes, the arcade-style Cruisin' mode and the Championship Circuit mode, and the addition of 4-player action. The reviewer praises the updated graphics, increased car selection, and new driving techniques. The page includes screenshots of the gameplay, showcasing the game's tracks and speed. There is a quote by Ken Lobb, who believes Cruisin' World will surpass San Francisco Rush. The page advertises the game's Rumble Pack compatibility. This page is a preview of Cruisin' World for the Nintendo 64, showcasing tracks in Egypt, Mexico, Africa, Italy, and Australia. It highlights graphic enhancements and new features, stating the detail is sharper than the arcade version due to mip mapping and anti-aliasing. The article mentions unique elements of each track, like shifting dunes in Egypt, Spanish voices in Mexico, animated critters in Africa, and marble columns in Italy. It also explains Eurocom's techniques to create a sense of speed and graphic options. There are details on car selection, stating there are 10 cars and trucks to choose from, with the ability to power them up and paint them. The next page features Aerogauge for the Nintendo 64, a futuristic racing game reminiscent of Zero X. The page details various game modes including Grand Prix, One Match, Time Attack, and Versus mode. The Grand Prix mode involves a circuit of 4 races where players earn points based on their finishing position. The One Match mode is a single race against 7 opponents, and the Time Attack mode allows players to set world records with infinite lap options. VS mode enables 2 players to compete against each other. There is mention of the totally tubular tracks, emphasizing how to navigate the round tubes found on each track. This page provides a detailed look at the different chariots available in Aerogauge for the Nintendo 64, including the Interceptor, Hornet, Avenger, Shredder, Black Lightning, and Aeropad, along with their stats and descriptions. It also gives tips on key racing techniques, boost starts, flying high or low, and cornering effectively. The Interceptor is highlighted as the best all-around choice, while the Hornet excels in handling. The Avenger is described as stable, and the Shredder is suitable for experienced pilots. Black Lightning has blazing speed with strong shields, and the secret Aeropad controller is hard to get. The next page offers course guides for Aerogauge on Nintendo 64, providing tips and strategies for 4 main courses: Canyon Rush, Bikini Island, Chinatown, and Neo Arena. It suggests best routes, shaving corners, and where to find redemption areas to replenish shields. It also mentions the Hornet as a good choice for Chinatown due to its handling. This page is an advertisement for FIFA 98, Road to the World Cup on the Nintendo 64. The ad highlights the game's features, including extensive player control options, indoor soccer mode, and realistic player characteristics. It mentions various gameplay elements, such as bicycle kicks, passing mechanics, bone-crushing tackles, and the ability to add spins and curves to the ball. The page includes screenshots showcasing different aspects of the game, like the World Cup mode, player editing options, and training scenarios. The next page features the big leagues in FIFA 98, Road to the World Cup, highlighting 11 national soccer leagues with teams listed by strength. There's a section on Road to the Copa, explaining the World Cup tournament structure and showcasing qualified teams for the 1998 World Cup in France. A fantasy football section details team customization options. The page also displays regional teams from around the world, divided by regions like UEFA, CONMEBOL, OFC, CONCACAF, AFC, and CAF. It concludes with the phrase, "See you in France," promoting the game's World Cup tie-in and graphics. This page dives into James Bond 007 for the Game Boy. It teases the storyline taking 007 from China through Russia and beyond. Screenshots highlight gameplay in different locations like China, Kurdistan, and London, showcasing Bond's arsenal and martial arts skills. The page outlines the mission details in each location, including infiltrating the club in Kurdistan, finding Iqbal, and obtaining secret documents in China. The review also mentions the use of gadgets and the need for stealth. This page is a walkthrough guide for James Bond 007 on the Game Boy, breaking down the game into sections like Marrakesh, the Sahara, and Tibet. It provides maps and hints for each area, including navigating the streets of Marrakesh, finding coordinates in the Sahara, and exploring the mountain stronghold in Tibet. It mentions characters like Mr. Fez and Odd Job, and highlights key items like night vision goggles, a laser watch, ropes, and a shield. The guide also gives tips for trading items in the black market, battling enemies like sumos, and using gadgets. This page offers a detailed walkthrough for the Game Boy title, James Bond 007. It breaks down the gameplay with maps and strategies for various locations, starting with Return to Kurdistan, where Bond must find 008, use an exploding pen, and confront rebel leaders. The guide extends into Golgov's base in Russia, where players navigate locked doors and tackle enemy threats to rescue Zhang Mei and deactivate missiles. It gives tips on how to defeat enemies like Jaws and navigate through the missile complex. The next page features a counselor's corner with tips and tricks for 2 Nintendo 64 games, Snowboard Kids and Duke Nukem 64. For Snowboard Kids, there's advice on avoiding pie pan attacks by using invisibility power-ups or making it inside the chairlift turnstile. There's also a tip on winning the copper pass, suggesting players upgrade their snowboards, use turbo boosts, and take shortcuts. For Duke Nukem 64, there's a walkthrough on getting behind the movie screen by using a grenade launcher or pipe bomb to blast open a secret place. Additionally, it explains that you cannot fly the UFO in Area 51 in the Independence Day level, but you can enter the teleporter and launch missiles by activating 8 buttons and a 4-way switch in a specific sequence. This page features tips for GoldenEye 007 and Turok: Battle of the Dinosaurs on the Nintendo 64. For GoldenEye 007, it clarifies that you cannot use cheat modes to earn a cheat, but gives tips on earning the DK mode by completing Mission 3 in Agent mode under 5 o'clock. It also gives advice on avoiding destroying the radio in the caverns by not shooting at sentries guarding the room and luring them away. Tips on how to defeat Jaws in Mission 8 by luring Jaws onto circular stairways and shooting diagonally across gaps are also given. For Turok, there is advice on how to get over the wall in the first level by hitting a switch to activate a platform, and how to obtain the shotgun by making a leap of faith. Additionally, there's a Q and a fast facts section about the game Aerofighter's Assault, Bomberman 64 and Mace. The Dark Age answering questions such as the best aircraft to use, how to get a lever to flip, and how to throw things. The page also includes call numbers for gaming support in the USA and Canada. The next page is an advertisement for the Nintendo 64 game Automobili Lamborghini by Titus Software, and a contest associated with it. The grand prize is a trip for 2 to Paris to attend the 24 Hours of Le Mans. 5 second-place winners will receive Lamborghini leather jackets and Automobili Lamborghini game packs. 50 third-place winners will get Nintendo Power t-shirts. The ad features screenshots of the game and a yellow Lamborghini car. The ad also features Ron Atapatu, rookie trophy winner of Star Racing, and the contest is part of the player's poll. This page features a guide for the Game Boy game Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow. It details Level 1, Mojo Mansion, with maps and tips on how to navigate various obstacles such as mech monkeys, climbing chains, pillar passages, and barriers. It also includes a legend showing the meaning of the pickups in the game, like Extra Life, Punch, Yin Yang, Bullet Beetle, and Bomb Beetle. Finally, a tip to defeat the Metal Spider. The next page continues the guide for Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow on the Game Boy. It covers Level 2, Ninja Training Ground, and Level 3, Mudrake Mayhem, with maps and strategies. The guide explains techniques like swinging lessons, defeating ninjas, climbing inside statues, navigating spikes, and using bamboo poles over lava pools. It also gives tips for getting bonus items and star power. The maps show the locations of extra lives, punches, and yin-yang pickups, and the guide concludes with advice on defeating the final boss of Level 2, the Ninja Ducks, and the boss of Level 3, the Colosseum boss, instructing the player to shoot bullet beetles at it and dodge its arrows. This page details Level 4, the Test of Duckhood, and Level 5, the Sacrifice of Maui, in Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow for the Game Boy. It provides maps and strategies for navigating both levels. Level 4 involves climbing trees with springy lines, watching out for broken boughs, and bungee jumping. Level 5 includes using flues to reach high places, using Ninja Maui to swing over obstacles, and battling ghosts. It also gives tips for defeating the final boss, a demonic baddie with a tail. The maps point out locations for extra lives, punches, yin-yang pickups, and bullet beetles. This page features the arena section, posing the question, are you game? It presents several challenges for players of different games, including Mischief Makers, Donkey Kong Land 3, and Diddy Kong Racing. Players are invited to submit photos of their achievements for a chance to be featured. The page also includes a "What kind of gamer are you?" quiz to determine a player's gaming personality and suggests games based on the results. Lastly, it showcases Picasso Paintball, a feature encouraging players to create paintball art in GoldenEye 007 and submit photos of their creations. The page also lists names and locations of top players for Super Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64, along with Tetrasphere and GoldenEye 007. The Shadow Place section asks readers to find the complete image of a silhouette hidden within the magazine. The next page includes a preview of upcoming releases in February 1998, highlighting 2 games, Nagano Winter Olympics 98 and Yoshi's Story. Nagano Winter Olympics '98 is described as having good graphics and a variety of Olympic sports. Although some controls are not intuitive, the game received an overall rating of 6.5 out of 10. Yoshi's Story is praised for its unique, pre-rendered storybook graphics and fun gameplay. The game features 24 courses and is recommended for action platform fans, receiving an overall rating of 8.2 out of 10. The page also briefly reviews Olympic Hockey '98, stating it's similar to the Gretzky games, with a rating of 6.5 out of 10. The next page features 4 64 game reviews. NBA in the Zone '98 from Konami receives a 6.0 overall rating, praised for its camera angles but criticized for animation and AI. Aero Gauge, a futuristic racer from ASC2, gets a 6.5, noted for its cool aero cars but limited variety. Mystical Ninja starring Goemon scores a 7.1, lauded for its graphics and sound, but with a bizarre story. Finally, FIFA Road to World Cup '98 earns an 8.1, celebrated for its sharp graphics and extensive content. There are screenshots of the gameplay and character interactions for each game. The next page features reviews for 3 Game Boy titles. James Bond 007 receives a 6.2 overall rating, praised for capturing the feel of a Bond adventure. The Fidgets, a puzzle game, gets a 5.2, with comments on its challenging levels and repetitive sound. Maui Mallard, in Cold Shadow, also scores a 6.2, noted for its detailed graphics and faithful recreation of the Super NES version. The page also has a section titled, Behind the Numbers and Names, introducing the evaluators and explaining the rating system. This page features a preview of Wario Land 2 for the Game Boy, highlighting its naughty gameplay and puzzle-solving elements. The reviewer praises the game's engaging nature and challenges, mentioning the objective is to find treasure in Wario's castle. The game also features comical transformations for Wario. The reviewer notes the rich graphics and impressive Super Game Boy sound and border. Other games mentioned on the page include Turok, War of the Bionosaurs, James Bond 007, Mickey Mouse Magic Wand, Konami's Goemon, Looney Tunes, Harvest Moon, and The Fishing Adventure. The Ice Blue Game Boy Pocket is also mentioned. This page features a hands-on preview of Quake 64, highlighting its 2-player deathmatch mode and more realistic graphics compared to Doom 64. The review mentions the single-player adventure mode. It also includes a preview of Virtual Chess 64, emphasizing its 3D battle mode and the inclusion of a tutorial by Titus the Fox. Finally, there's a brief mention of All Macarena Baseball, which features Yankees players dancing the Macarena and YMCA. There is a sneak peek of Zelda 64 and Zero X, with shots of the castle and vehicle selection screen. The next page features a Pack Focus section, diving into the behind-the-scenes game development at Iguana West. It highlights 2 N64 projects for Acclaim, WWF Warzone and NHL Breakaway '98. The section discusses the developer's approach to 3D gaming, focusing on realistic simulations. Regarding WWF Warzone, it mentions the game's flashy presentation, custom character editor with a lot of physical attributes and costumes, and motion capture animation. The game aims to replicate the televised WWF events, and the developers are trying to avoid making it a button-mashing experience. NHL Breakaway '98 is described as a hockey simulation, benefiting from its development history as a PlayStation title. Improvements were made for the N64 version, including graphics and AI. The article concludes by highlighting the attention to detail at Iguana West and its potential contribution to Acclaim and 64 gaming. This page covers several upcoming games and news. In the Pack Peaks section, it discusses Fishing Adventure, an unusual RPG from Natsume. Also, it covers Mystical Ninja Light for Game Boy, and a new Mickey Mouse game from Kemco, along with some behind-the-scenes news regarding Kemco's development with Looney Tunes. The Coming Soon section reveals Player's Choice lineup for the N64, with lower price points for games like Super Mario 64 and Turok, Dinosaur Hunter. It also mentions Tonic Trouble and Milo's Bowl-O-Rama. The POC Watch release forecast lists the release dates of N64 and Game Boy titles, like Banjo-Kazooie, Zelda 64, Harvest Moon, The Fishing Adventure, and Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. Screenshots feature Virtual Chess 64, All-Star Baseball '98, NBA Courtside, MLB featuring Ken Griffey Jr., Banjo-Kazooie, and WWF Warzone. This page previews upcoming games, starting with 1080° Snowboarding, highlighting its innovative gameplay. It also features Yoshi's Story, Part 2, teasing sinister scenes within the storybook adventure. A preview of Konami's NBA in the Zone is mentioned. The page also includes a comprehensive list of available and upcoming games for the N64 and Super NES, listing all the various N64 releases at the time, such as GoldenEye 007, Mortal Kombat, and Super Mario. Quest 64 is previewed with a summary of its characters and places. The next page is an advertisement for Nintendo's Power Swap service, promoting the repair or replacement of broken consoles. The ad features Donkey Kong holding a wrench next to a Game Boy Pocket, $25, a Super Nintendo, $35, and a Nintendo 64, $59. It also highlights a selection of Player's Choice Nintendo 64 games, available at $39.95, including Super Mario 64, Wave Race, Turok, Mario Kart 64, Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire, Cruisin' USA, and Star Fox 64. The offer gives the player a permanent replacement unit and states they will be back into their game with no wait and little expense.